Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah Almighty, the most merciful and the most beneficent. This is Shafqat Mehmood, Yusuf Zaid. Today my presentation topic is Multan Electric Power Company versus Muhammad Ismail. Before initiating my presentation, I would like to tell you that this presentation will tell us about the jurisdiction of Punjab Consumer Court that are established under Punjab Consumer Protection Act 2005. This case was contested between Multan Electric Power Company and Muhammad Ismail. In this case, Muhammad Ismail filed a complaint against the relevant company and in which it was stated that he is a consumer of electricity provided by this company and his meter is disconnected on account of charges against his brother. But the allegations that were presented by Multan Electric Power Company were that the consumer is a defaulter as he was supplying electricity to his brother from domestic meter for commercial purposes, which amounts to theft. But Consumer Court decided the matter in favor of the consumer and ordered that his electricity meter should be connected again. And it was also observed that in case if a consumer is a defaulter, his meter cannot be disconnected by the relevant authority without prior notice. This order was challenged by Multan Electric Power Company and an appeal was filed before Mozabil Akhtar Shabir. In this appeal, it was stated that the order of Consumer Court is without jurisdiction because this case will fall within the jurisdiction of electricity inspector or electric inspector under Electricity Act 1910. In this case, or in the judgment of this case, it was decided that the consumer courts established under the Punjab Consumer Protection Act 2005 is not of general jurisdiction at all. So it is the duty of the court to determine the question before it and also take into consideration the defense of other party in order to determine whether the question before it is within its jurisdiction or not. In this case, some sections were used by the competent authority that the complaint was filed under section 25. The complaint was filed under section 25, which tells us that a claim for damages arising out of contraventions of any provision of this act should be filed before Consumer Court. Again, section 30, which provides us about defective and faulty services, which states that the provider of service will be liable to a consumer for damages approximately caused by the provision of such service which had caused damage. Section 14, subsection 1 tells us about provides for standard of provision of services. It tells us about the standard of services. And it says, this section says that if the standard of services is regulated by any special law or provincial or federal laws, then the standard should be deemed to be the standard as regulated by special law. But again, in subsection 2, it is stated that if the standard is not regulated by any special laws, then the standard shall be at time when the provision is made, or when the provision is given, or when the provision of service is given to the person, a person can reasonably expect to obtain that position or provision of service at that time in Pakistan. The court says that section 25 should be read in conjunction with section 28, which tells us about the mechanism for settlement of dispute that comes before the Consumer Protection Court. And this section 28 tells us about the remedy that can be granted by the Consumer Court. So that a consumer court can grant a remedy, that is, remove defect from product in question, number one. Number two, replace the product with new product. If there is any defect in the product in question, then that product should be replaced with new product of similar quality, of similar quantity. So it tells us about this. Number third, return the fee to the claimant. It is the power of the Consumer Protection Court to return the fee that has been paid by the claimant and the service is not given to that claimant. That at that time, the court has power to return the fee. Number four, the court can do any other thing which is necessary for adequate compliance with the provision of this act. Number five, to pay reasonable compensation. If there is any damage to a person or any other damages, so the court has got power to pay reasonable compensation to the aggrieved party. Number six, to award actual costs including lawyer fees. It is also the jurisdiction or authority of consumer court that it can order to the opposite party to award the actual cost including lawyer fees. Lawyer fees can also be given to the aggrieved party by the consumer court. Number seven, to confiscate and destroy the defective product. The court has also got the authority under the Punjab Consumer Protection Act 2005 to destroy and confiscate the defective product. So, in this case, Muzammil Akhtar Shabir says that the court that are established under the Punjab Consumer Protection Act 2005 is not of general jurisdiction, and it is the duty of the court to determine the question that comes before it, whether it is within the jurisdiction or not. Again, as Muhammad Ismail was supplying electricity from domestic meter to his brother for commercial purposes, it amounts to theft, and the same case will fall within the jurisdiction of electric inspector under Electricity Act 2019-10. As I told you before about the standard of provision of service in subsection 1, section 14, subsection 1, which provides that the standard of, if the standard of provision of service is regulated by any special law or federal or provincial law, then the standard of provision shall be deemed to be the standard which is regulated by that special law. So, if there is any default about the provision of services, so that default should be dealt according to this law, not according to the Punjab Consumer Protection Act 2005. And in case the court says that this case will fall within the jurisdiction of electric inspector because the theft is from metering equipment, or in case if someone is supplying electricity to other person, not from metering equipment, at that time the same case will fall within the jurisdiction of civil court. Again, I am telling you that the court says in its judgment that this case will fall within the jurisdiction of electric inspector under Electricity Act 1910 because the theft of electricity was conducted from metering equipment. And in case if the theft of electricity is not conducted or is not taken from metering equipment, at that time the case will fall within the jurisdiction of civil court. So I hope you people understood about this case, and the most important aspect of this case is that it tells us about the jurisdiction, and the same case did not fall within the jurisdiction of consumer court. That is my presentation, I hope, and thank you for watching my video.